Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of SimCity. Unfortunately this is another one of those pre-recorded episodes. I'm going to be reinstalling my computer, so I need to record a couple of extra episodes and get ahead of myself. So I've been reading the tips on some of the previous videos that people have been leaving. There's a lot of stuff that I don't really know about SimCity, so it's good to be able to read the comments. Another reason that I don't like pre-records is because things kind of feel out of sync. But anyway, so you guys have been leaving some great suggestions and tips, and I've been doing a bit of stuff off camera, just doing some small maintenance, going around removing some abandoned buildings, making a few small changes here and there. And this layout isn't necessarily good, and I'm starting to see why. It has a lot of intersections, and these are bad because they would cause traffic. Now this was a comment left on, I think, episode 3, and so I started to investigate, and now is a perfect time to show you, because look at all the intersections that we have and look at all the traffic that is getting backed up. Now I've been going around and removing as many as I can, but you can see that they still cause a lot of problems. In fact, everything everywhere is pretty much at a standstill at the moment. So there has been this problem in the city as well that I've been trying to understand why it's happening, and it is... which side of the city? I think we're on the... well, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, so this is the side of the city that has the problem. But it seems like the changes that I've just made a moment ago have made a huge difference. There's all these new buildings coming in. We had a lot of ones like these going all the way down here, but now they're being replaced with these ones, which look a lot nicer, so I'm going to assume that that's what they are. They're like an upgrade. Also, this tower block has appeared. And that's all happened while I was working on the other side. So anyway, we had this problem with the medical... you know, the people dying and stuff like that. Over in this area there were lots of people who were unhappy, saying that there was too much death in the city, and I couldn't understand why, because I had my ambulances just over here. Ambulance, I don't know. Yeah, so we had a clinic right here, and I went around removing some of the intersections. So there was one here, there was another one just there, I think, and that seems to have made a difference already. We also had one here and over here as well. You can sort of see the gaps from where they were, and that has made a huge difference. Now over here as well we do have a traffic problem, and there's one thing that I've realised as well, is that we're not using the highest density, and we can go up to high density avenue and then high density streetcar avenue. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to upgrade to the full one, but let's find out. Okay, we are, and it's probably going to cost us a lot of money to do all of the different roads that we have in the city. So this is something I'm going to do more in a moment. This is going to make a big difference. I'm going to upgrade them all to the next level, and then depending on how much money I have left over, maybe we could even go up to the streetcar one and see how much of a difference that makes. But this is going to be very good for our city, because it means our ambulances can get around, and the healthcare that I have in place will actually be able to get to where they've got to go and really make a difference. So yeah, this is really helping. It's a great tip, and yeah, there's a lot to be learnt. So there's a few other tips that have been left on the video, which I'm going to go through as well. And at the moment I can't remember what some of the other things that I've done are, so I think the best thing to do is to make a cut. I'm going to go around and upgrade all of these different roads. Okay, I think that's all of our avenues upgraded to the high density one. And if we have a look over here, we've got a huge traffic problem, and we have another intersection that probably isn't too necessary. So we want to encourage people to use the main roads, because they'll be able to hold more traffic. I'm assuming that's how it's working. Got another blooming traffic problem over here as well. So little intersections like this are just going to hold people up, because every time you have an intersection, I think what happens is everyone has to stop, and so that slows down traffic a lot. So let's remove this road here, and hopefully there won't be too much attached to it. Well, couple of buildings on that side. Let's make sure this is all zoned residential. Some of that is commercial though. And here's another tip. Apparently if you hold down shift and click, perhaps you need an empty plot, but you can basically take a whole area and just shift click, and then it'll be made into residential, or whatever it is you choose to select. In fact, we should make this over here. I made a bit of a meal of destroying some roads. You can see where they used to be. They went round there and round there, just trying to remove the amount of intersections that we had, and there's actually quite a few buildings attached to it, and now I kind of regret doing that. But yeah, not sure what I'm going to do over here, although if we're going to have big buildings like that appearing, that looks okay. That's not really a bad thing, is it? So the other thing that I wanted to address was the budget that I said I would, do on this city. Just use the 50,000, and a lot of people voiced their opinions on it. Quite a few people saying that they actually wanted to see me spend all of this money, which is what I ended up doing, and then quite a few people saying that I should have stuck to the 50,000. And I felt quite bad because I should have waited and seen what people said. Probably would have stuck to the 50,000. But now that I've done it like this, I'm really enjoying this as well, so I hope you like it, because I'm thinking that what I should do is perhaps start a solo LP. We could go between, playing on Sim Pals and going through the other one, and take everything that we've learnt from playing on the Sim Pals region and apply it to a solo city, which I think would be really interesting. We've learnt tons of stuff already, and as we go along, we're going to learn more and more. And look at this road over here. I think this is unnecessary. There's another intersection over there. I've got a feeling a lot of buildings are going to be attached to this one, so yep, we're going to lose all of those, which is unfortunate, and a flower plaza. One thing I have been doing, whenever I remove a park like that, I go and replace it with one that's better. So the flower plaza cost 440 per hour. Let's replace it with something slightly better. So we'll go for the small fountain park, and where do we want to put this? I think there's room for a big building there. In fact, there's room for a big building on either side. Actually, let's put it there and get rid of those small houses. Sorry guys. It's all about the wealthier class in this city, really, isn't it? Okay, yeah, that looks good. So let's just make sure that's residential as well. All of that now is. And yeah, I guess I'm going to keep my eye on the city for a while, read some more comments because there are some other tips that I wanted to discuss, and I'll be back in a moment. Before we do that, there's just a couple of things I've noticed here that I want to do. We have a load of miserable houses all around this area here, and I'm wondering if maybe just demolishing them all and getting these people out of our city, which sounds terrible, might solve the problem, because they've been like this for ages, and these are the older buildings. I talked about how these new ones popped up and then they kind of went away, so maybe we should do that, although this is a new one, and that one as well, and they don't have any money. That's interesting. But I'm also thinking of removing these roads here, these two, and just see what it's like when we just have the one way in and off of the road at either end. And then this one here, the same thing again. I'm going to remove that road and see what happens. And the other thing that I've noticed is over here there's a couple of miserable buildings and they don't have enough skilled workers. Well, I noticed something. My high school teaches 800 students, and that is the maximum amount they can teach. And now my grade school has gone down to 136, so I can't help but feel you have to go through grade school to get to high school, like in real life obviously. But the way that the game does that is they go to this one first and then to that one. It's not just like your population, depending on their age, go to what school, if that makes sense. So we need to upgrade this one, and then probably what we're going to see, oh look at that, 901 students. We can take 1,000, so maybe we need to upgrade that as well. And then the university is only taking 94, so maybe it'll be a while before people graduate from college to get there. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. Okay, so I've removed those roads. I've also upgraded the school as well, and I destroyed some of those houses with a negative value. I kept forgetting how to get the little smiley faces on each house, but you click parks and then they all appear, so you can see we got a load of negative ones down here. I'm tempted to demolish them, but I don't think it's really fixed our problem. I think what we're going to have to do is put in another healthcare centre in this area, or perhaps just move it from over there to over here. But we really need to be careful with spending now. You know, I've just breezed through all of that money that I've got, and if we have a look at our budget, you can see a hell of a lot is going on to health, education, which is fine. And I don't think there's really any other areas that we can trim down on, although I did notice one thing. Check this out. I don't know how this happened, but I have 2 wind power plants. Now, I'm quite forgetful, you guys know me by now. I can say one thing 1 minute and then forget it the next, so it's possible that when I put that second one down, it's because I couldn't extend this and I just decided that I needed another one. So if I'm to demolish this, then we could have some power shortages at night. So I don't want to do that just yet, but that's something to consider. Anyway, another thing that I've noticed is that our recycling centre is full. The little thing went orange down here, and I was trying to find out what I do with these materials, and after doing some searching I found that you needed a trade depot, and it took me ages to find out that there is this little button down here called City Specialization, which I just haven't, you know, looked at and gone, oh, what's that yet? You know what I mean? There's so much stuff that you're getting used to. And anyway, down here we can select some different things. We can trade, we can do electronics, which is probably something else I'm going to have to build at some point, is a processor factory. Now this is interesting, because one of the other things that I wanted to mention is that there's these little bubbles that pop up, and you see it gives you a little message if you click over it. There's other ones as well though that you can click on, and they can give you challenges like this. We're a big city now, it's time we expanded. Access to the police precinct. It'll give us access to the latest gadgets to catch criminals. So you can take on these little challenges. Sometimes you get money for doing it. My screen just went black. Oh, no surprise there. I think that's the first time it's happened to me in the middle of recording. Anyway, let's try and reconnect. Okay, we are back. Everything looks fine. Yeah, we're all good. Okay, so got cut off like in the middle of what I was talking about there. Basically, these little speech bubbles appear, and there'll be little challenges that you can do. I've done one of them, which was to collect a load of garbage. They wanted to have like a street party, and there'd be extra garbage the next day. And I've done that, and I got 25,000 for it. So it's good to keep an eye out for those little things. I don't see too many speech bubbles popping up at the moment though. But one of the other ones that I investigated was over here. One of these companies wanted me to build a processor plant. And yeah, and then I just found that in the menu. So yeah, what I really want to do is sort out the ambulance problem, or at least the healthcare, you know, get more ambulances out there. But also, before we do that, I think we need to build this trade depot, which is going to cost a lot of money. And it's only 75 per hour, which is, actually it's only 10,000. For some reason I thought it was like 100,000. Okay, well that's cool. Not really sure where we should put this though. I'm not sure if it has a negative effect on the area. It would kind of make sense to put it near to this, I guess, because they're going to take all of the materials from it to the trade depot. I think we're going to have to put it there, as close to that as we can. There we go. And it's just down the road, which is good. Okay, let's zoom in on this and see what's going on here, so we can probably edit it and expand it somehow. So we can put a sign, that's always good. And we can make a truck garage. Okay, now see, this says freight truck. This is one of those things, I think this might help our industry. Because they're always complaining about not having, yeah, enough freight shipments, so maybe this helps with that. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to read through all of this. I'm really interested in what it has to say, but I'm not one of those people, you know, can just like read and continue talking, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, so we need to build little modules to add to this for each type of material that we're going to be exporting, because this will allow us to trade on the global market as well. Another thing I've noticed here though is freight shipping warehouse. Now this might help our industry, except the only thing is I've plopped this down over here, and our industry is over this side, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I'm not going to build one of these warehouses. I'm building this to deal with the garbage problem that we have at the moment. We want to recycle as many materials as we can, and that should help us make money back as well. Now I've been reading a lot about it, and having a well-educated city like we do goes well with recycling. If your people aren't educated, they don't like to recycle as much, so we're going to have a large amount of it coming in anyway, and hopefully we can make some money back off of that. So we want to build the modules for the ones that we are actually producing. So 20 tons of recyclables, then we have plastic, metals and alloys. So that's 3 modules, maybe 4 that we want to do. Let's have a look. It was metals, alloys and plastics. So there's those 3, and the other one was just recyclables, and I don't see that on here, so we're going to go and build those 3. And look at this, they're not that expensive. That's good to know, that's good to know. Although it looks like it might take up some space. We've got enough room for 3 modules as well, that seems to be perfect. So let's, oh, and we can expand it further by the looks of it. Yep. So it looks like this is going to be the site right here. It's kind of perfect for this size of building if we want to keep expanding it. Is this thing open? It is. And we have 1 delivery truck. And now we can manage our global market deliveries. That's fantastic. So we want to import or export. I think what we want to do is export everything. Let's see, what on earth is all this? yeah, I think we just want to click on export. Maybe that's like a highlight. So, yep, the selected resource is being exported. Wow, now this could really make us some serious money. I like the look of that figure. I don't know, well, it says per 10. So if we can get 50 grand per 10 alloy, let's go and have a look at how much alloy we have over here. Oh, look, it's being moved already. Okay, so it's 50 grand for when this thing is full. That's really interesting. I think what we should do now is first of all get ourselves a second delivery truck, so we really want to move that stuff around. And possibly... oh look, our limit has been reached. How do we get more? It usually tells you how you get more. It usually involves upgrading something at Town Hall, it seems like. Anyway, let's get one more of these, so we can have 2 trucks going back and forth. And now what I want to do is maximise the amount of recycling that we're doing. So if we have a look at the statistics here, what is the one that I am looking for? I saw it earlier. I did. Oh, here it is, down on the bottom right. So we are collecting 780 of 2,000 garbage cans, and recycling bins we are collecting 2,600. So I think that means that we are going to need some extra recycling collection truck garages, which means more trucks get to go out on the road. And we've actually... that was reclamation, and this one was... or was that the one I just put down? I don't know now. Let's see if we can zoom in. No, it looks like that type, doesn't it? And then that's our reclamation one. Okay. I'm not really sure what does what now. Well, we can only put down one more, so I may as well add that. And hopefully that will help. Yeah, not really. Collection truck garage. That's just for general recycling. So what's the reclamation? Oh, that's for neighbouring cities. Okay, it says it there. Oh, right, so that's a service that we want to offer to our neighbouring cities. So if we go to the regional view, click on our waste management, we have... oh, what is the difference then? Do you know what? I'm at a loss now. I'm still getting used to all of this. What happens if I click that? Oh, wow, that's interesting. Well, you can see the uncollected meter there, so we definitely need to improve on this. But yeah, I'm really not sure then how to select a claimed... oh, of course, yes, you have to select the other city first. So does anyone need anything? It's hard to tell. This is the kind of time when you want to be able to call someone up and ask them if they want some extra, yeah. Oh well, we'll look at that another time. I'm getting a bit carried away with this now. I said I wanted to read the comments again because there's some really cool tips that I wanted to share with all of you, and it looks like we've done a good job on that now. So I'm going to let the city run for a while I leave those, while I read those comments, and we'll be back in a bit. So the other tip was from Captain Walnut again. I think I got this wrong in one of the previous videos, but then I think I've now got it right. I'm not sure, it's a little unclear. But supposedly these sewage treatment tanks will put water back into the ground, and then there's a filtration pump, which is not what we have. I'm looking at the wrong thing. It's this building over here we're looking for. That's right. Yeah, this is going to put good water back in the ground, I think, because it is a filtration pump. But that was in regards to all of this polluted area down here, and apparently if you put down trees that can help unpollute the area, except I have no idea how you plant down trees, although I did discover this. Saying that, there we go. Nice row of trees. Let's put some of those in then. We found it. So how much do these cost? They cost 10 an hour and 100 to put in. And you know what? I haven't put these in to my city really at all. I've just been putting down basic parks, and there's probably little areas where we could fit these in that would be good for the city. That's really interesting. You know, I'm learning so much at the moment. It's a bit difficult to take it all in, but this game is very complex, and I don't know, it's just so much to it to learn. Yeah, I was just looking at some of the mistakes I've made with all the intersections and stuff. For example, putting all the education at the centre of the city is fine, but I mean, look at the traffic and how it is now. when school starts it's not the same. The traffic is really bad because everyone comes to the centre here to go to school. And yeah, and like apart from that, the transport and the layout seems to suit it really well. You can see everything is whizzing around just fine. There's a few build-ups here and there, but in the morning it's horrendous around the schools area. And another thing I think I might have sussed, we have a germ problem in our city, it seems like. Well, there was a while ago, it doesn't seem so bad now, but one thing that I've noticed is over here, if we have a look at the health map, it's actually changed. This building wasn't doing so good a while ago. It was germ level was medium, there was someone sick working there I think, and it made me wonder if because this is next to the recycling centre it makes it not as healthy, and because it's a bus terminal it means the germs are getting onto the buses and being spread throughout the city. But yeah, time's moved on since that had a little sick icon next to it and wasn't doing so well, so I'm not sure if that's actually the case anymore. But you can see there's some ill people all over the place, and there's lots of unhappy houses down the back here again, which is really annoying. Anyway, I should see if I can fit more of these. Here you go, here's a good place, there's a gap there, we'll put more of these in, that should help. Anyway, I'm not sure what it is I'm going to be doing next. Looks like there's a gap there, we can put them in. Very good, and they only cost 10 an hour to maintain, which is not going to impact the budget that much. Yeah, so as I said, I'm not too sure what it is I'm going to be doing next. Probably letting the city progress, probably doing a little bit more management, going around and finding things that I can tweak and change. One of the other ones I wanted to do was cut back on our services, so I might reduce the health down a bit, but I'm not really sure about that because of the way things are going. Okay, I've spent some time redesigning some parts of the city, for example this road here. We used to have two roads here, an intersection just over there, so now we just have the one road. Then down the bottom here I've noticed there's a big problem with this area here. This road is what this train station is attached to, except it doesn't connect on this side here. It just connects around this corner. So what I did was I extended this road to come down and meet it. Unfortunately I'd have to destroy this, which I can afford. I can afford to destroy and replace it, so I don't know, maybe I'll do that. And then these two roads here I should really get rid of, but here's the thing. All of our like really good high density building. Oh, I just destroyed that. Oops. Yeah, look, all of that's attached to it, and then these two ones here are attached to this road. So all of our good stuff is attached to this, and I don't feel like destroying it just yet, but that's something that we can do later on. But what I've learned about this layout is that there's a really bad thing where you have the intersections come at an angle like this to a main road, is that you just waste a lot of space here in the corner and you can't get big properties on them. So really you want to stick to the whole grid formula, because you can yeah, have your big buildings on these roads. You can put the strips of trees down either side, and then you can have a gap and then another road behind it. That's what you want to stick to, and then every time you have roads that come at an angle like this, you've got a load of wasted space. So this definitely isn't the best of layouts, and destroying things and rebuilding isn't the worst thing in the world. We could just change this as we go along, but I'm not sure how much we can actually do. There are still some restrictions, but there are ways to change them. So anyway, that is it for this episode. I'm hoping that I can avoid the itch to play this for a while, and yeah, let the sort of series catch up, because you know how it is. I have to pre-record some episodes and then others I do like the day after, so hopefully we can get back to that. But this game is very addictive, so I'll probably spend some time just fine-tuning things. And by the way, I have actually done some other fine-tuning I've forgotten to mention. The budget, have a look at that, up to 11,000. I went around and I found some services that we could cut back on, especially the grade school. It seems like the students are down now to about 150, so what I did was I shut down some of these classrooms so they're not costing any more money, and some of the buses as well. And I've done that with mainly the school service and I think one or two other things as well, and that has saved us a lot of money. So the money is back on the rise, which is great, and we're doing good. This city is very interesting. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.